works. Pop in, say hi. I'm going to my channel right now to see if this is any better. I don't have a microphone. Let me know if this sounds okay. Let's go to my channel. How's everybody doing tonight? Merry Christmas. It wouldn't be a Christmas Eve party hangout without me messing it up somehow. And you know what? I like going live on my phone. It's just that I'm just comfy. You know, I have this setup here on my, oh my goodness. Okay, everybody. I made it in, you guys. I made it in. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's, you know what? It's a sign that I need to get a new microphone. The plan is to work on that car, get myself a laptop, and I guess a microphone is down on that list, but it's something that I do need, especially when it's messing with my live shows. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yes, I made it and you guys found me. Good. I'm glad you guys found me. I know I've got one more live there because I tried a couple of times to come in live tonight. You guys can see I got this light thing going on here, so we're just going to change it. Is that what we're gonna do? There we go. Change it. My sisters came over. They didn't come up to my apartment. They just met me down at the street, and we exchanged Christmas greetings and exchanged gifts. And she made me a mincemeat pie and some mincemeat tarts. Hello, Nancy. Oh, Nancy made it too. That's so awesome, you guys. That's so awesome. Right? I hope I'm not keeping you away from anything. If you guys need to pop in and pop out, I'm good. I'm just so grateful that I get to see all of you, right, tonight. And I didn't think that everybody would start rolling in, but look at that. How amazing is that? Yeah, so I worked this morning and we only worked till early in the afternoon, so I had a chance. I ran straight to the grocery store because I had no beverages, no drinks, like not alcohol or anything, but no juice or pop or anything to drink, so except for coffee. And I drink a lot of coffee. So I decided I would go to the store and I picked up a few things so that I can enjoy my few days off. I get 4 days off now. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Being somebody who does work, it's something that I appreciate when I do get to have some time off. But you guys know who hang out with me on Instagram how much I enjoy my days off, and it's beneficial not just to me but beneficial to everybody because I just apply that extra time into learning new things and sharing new things, right? Yeah. And being silly by myself. Oh my goodness. I went to work. They called me in yesterday. Somebody didn't make it in, Christmas parties and stuff. Somebody didn't make it work in. So I was going to bake Christmas cookies before I went to work yesterday, and it didn't quite work out that way. I got called in, and at first I said, "Oh, I gotta go to work early," and it kind of plays with my routine and everything. And then there was that sense of relief because it meant that I wouldn't have time to cook my Christmas cookies, or not cook them, but I was giving everybody Christmas cookie dough. And I made one batch because a couple of the girls I wasn't going to see, so I wanted to make sure they got their cookie dough. But I was going to make the rest of them yesterday, but I got called in early, and I was so happy because when I came home last night, my house was clean. I didn't have to do dishes, right? I went, oh, that worked out. That worked out pretty good. And then this morning I got up and had a very short morning routine because this is the day I start work early. And so I was rushing around, and I do a little short live. I do my angel cards, right? And maybe we'll do one tonight. We'll do an angel card. And I got my stocking here, you guys, right? So I did my live, and it was a very short live, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was comfy and invited whoever wanted to pop in and meet you guys to come in, and I always do, right? And I always think, oh, somebody will come in from my Instagram and hang out with us, right? But I never see anybody new come over from Instagram. But the offer is already always there, right? And then I ran out the door and I went, oh my goodness, I can make my bus. 5 minutes, I can make my bus, and I'm halfway down the block. I'm halfway down the block, and I see my bus crossing the road, right? Crossing the road. And I went, oh, I missed my bus. And I run the show on the weekends. I can't be late. So that means I've got to run down to the station, right? So I wasn't going to run to the station, but I was going to walk pretty fast. So I was walking pretty fast, and I saw that the bus I normally take was getting stuck at the lights. And I said, well, maybe I can cross the road here and catch that bus, right? And I ran across the road, and he was stopped. And I was lucky there were a couple of people that had to get on the bus at that stop. So I climbed over the snowbank. I literally had to crawl over the snowbank, got over there, and I'm like, hold the bus. And I got on the bus, and I went, oh my goodness, that's so amazing. Then I got off at my work like 45 minutes before I had to start work. So I went and I got a cup of coffee, and I kind of went about the shelves and piddled around in the morning, getting ready for people to pop in. I didn't think it would be very busy today, but I was really grateful that I didn't have to wait for a bus, right? I had to run, but it just proved to me that I could run, right, if I had to, because, well, I call it running, but it was just really moving really fast. But moving really fast is pretty rough right now in Winnipeg, because we got caught in that really cold snap that's going on in the States. It's here in Winnipeg too. It made it this far, and it's wreaking havoc. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit worried for the homeless out on the streets. They're coming into the store to warm up. We're giving them coats and pants, but they're pretty diehard, because they're coming in and they're looking at the American Eagle and the Nike and the Adidas. They're not looking at warm and cozy and comfortable. They're looking at for things that they can sell, is what they're doing, right? And so we say, well, if it's necessity, if you need it, you need socks or underwear, you need a nice pair of warm pants, you need a sleeping bag or a blanket, we've got that for you. But yeah, these things, these luxuries, right? Like, it is Christmas, but I'd much rather see you with something that you need rather than something that you want when it's like 40 below zero. Okay, let's read some of these comments. I've got the phone going on here because that's writing so small, right? And on my monitor, it's nice and big. So I'm going to just pop up and down in my comments and see what everybody's doing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So we made it to Christmas. So after work, we shut the store down really fast, got out of there. I walked a few blocks down. I had my snow pants because I got a great score and a pair of brand new snow pants last night. I was so excited. So I'm going for a walk in the next few days. I'm going to go for a nice. That's why I haven't been going, because I haven't had a good pair of snow pants that would keep my legs warm. I could probably have layered up a few pairs of pants, but it wouldn't have been the same as a pair of snow pants. I really like to be cozy when I go for my walks. And I go for walks even in the 40 below zero. It doesn't bother me, but I have to be cozy, right? So I needed the snow pants. So I was grateful I had the snow pants on. I wore them to work today. They work absolutely fabulous, and they fit perfectly. And I got them for $10. Not even $10, because get a staff discount. So I got them for $7. A beautiful, that probably was at least $150, $160 if I had to have buy them, right? Yeah, so they're really nice. I'm going to hem them though, because they were a little bit long. I'm going to put a hem on them, but they're perfect. So I was really happy about those. So I went to the grocery store. I walked down to the grocery store. I ran around in there, got the things I needed, got a few things that I wanted. And then, right, to celebrate Christmas. And then I had to run home really quickly Clean the cat litter box, sweep my floor. Everything was clean. All I had to do is clean the cat litter box and sweep my floor, and wait for my sister to show up. And then my first sister's phoned me and she goes, "Oh, I'm tired." And then she says, "Oh, my sister's not feeling good." She says, "Can we just meet you in the lobby and exchange gifts?" And I said, "Sure." Right? It's Christmas, right? If they're tired and they don't want to come up, right? That's all good. I'm good with that. I am tired, right? I am tired. I came home. I was so grateful we were having a pajama party that I was able to put my pajamas on, right? And these were my favorite Christmas ones. I love plaid. I really love plaid. And I really love flannel nightgowns. I've always loved flannel nightgowns ever since I was a little kid. They were something that, right, mom had us wear them because there were lots of times when we didn't have heat and stuff, so we had to stay warm. Partly out of that emotional attachment to that television show, Little House on the Prairie, right? Because they all wore flannel nightgowns on Little House on the Prairie, even the mom, right? So I have that attachment, and they're just so big and comfy, and you can wear them as house dresses and stuff. So I went to the grocery store, then I came home, and then I got on my pajamas when my sister said, "Can we just meet you in the lobby?" So I just threw on my winter coat, went down there. We did a gift exchange, right? It was really nice to see my sisters. I gave them a thank you and a Merry Christmas, and then I came upstairs and then I ate some treats off the tray she made me, and I put my stocking. It's right here. We're gonna open my stocking, you guys. Arr! This is my stocking this year. I put all her stuff in a box. We do stocking exchanges. We make nice stockings for each other. She makes a stocking for me and one of my other sisters. And then me and my sister that get stockings from her, we combine and we make one great big monster stocking for her when she makes them for me. So they're always great. They're always things that I need or things that I want. And she always finds one little present that she knows I'm really going to love. So usually there's a little surprise one in there, but on the norm, I can pretty much guess every single one. We'll play that game tonight where, right? I know, but it's like, right? I'm so good at it. Like I'm so good at it. Like I could memorize every box. I could figure it out. We'll play that game. But anyway, I got my stocking here. So I cleaned the cat litter box. I swept the floor, and I says, "Oh, Cindy, you can get a load of laundry. You can get a load of laundry in before your sisters come over." So, one of my sisters called. Right? She says, "Well, we're just coming to the lobby." So I waited for them. Then I ran downstairs and I put the laundry in. So I did a load of laundry, came up, had a few things to eat. I thought my sisters were coming up, so I made coffee and I made us a pizza. You guys, I did all this today. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, right? I'm like the Energizer Bunny. And then I kept a half eye on the clock, so because I knew I was coming in live at 7 tonight, right? And then again, I don't know what's wrong with this. I don't know if it's my computer's getting tired now or if the microphone is done. I don't know. I always liked this microphone that I use. It's the Yeti, and it's always been a good microphone. But we have had a couple of lives now, haven't we? That the sound did not work out. But we'll see. Okay, so let's get back into the comments and see what everybody's up. I was okay. Oh, there we go. That's where we left off with Nancy popping in. Hi, Nancy. Amazing. Nancy made it in. Kathy and Andrew and Owen. Who else is here? Absolutely amazing. So it's Christmas, you guys. And with Christmas, I've never been a big celebrator. Maybe sometimes I go to the company. They put on a company party at Christmas. I don't think they do it as much anymore. They like to give cash bonuses and stuff like that because they don't want the drunk employees spilling the beans on the secret research or right telling a boss what they really think of them. My sister did that to her boss. It cost her it cost her her job, right? But um, when it comes to Christmas, I'm usually pretty quiet. I'm usually pretty content about being on my own. Now, I was a little bit disappointed that my sisters didn't come up and spend time with me and see my tree and see my cat and right, but have a cup of coffee. But it's their Christmas. It's their Christmas too, right? So in the end, I can make it a big deal, right? Make them feel guilty and stuff, or do we just right make them feel good about them and wish them Merry Christmas and thank them for the lovelies? Because I did. I'm sure I got some lovely gifts here, and the treats were really good, and I can tell that she homemade some of these treats that they had because they were perfect. They were delicious. They were exactly the way they were supposed to taste, but they didn't look exactly the way they were supposed to look. So I could tell them that my sister truly had made them. But you know what? I love that even more because it shows the effort that she put in to put out a nice treat tray. And she didn't do the treat tray just for me, but she did it for a couple of her friends, and she did it for my other sisters too. Let's go back in here. Okay, where did I leave off? Oh, I heard I passed somewhere where it said Nancy in the weather. Okay, I'm looking or Kathy in the weather. Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Oh my goodness. Spring showers? We'll see. We'll get down into the comments there. Okay. Oh, awesome. Kathy, awesome. Well, it's good that I know what kind of coloring pages that you like. So I know what kind of books that you like now. Because I've been watching your art for long enough. And I know that you've never put up mandalas and stuff. So I don't know how I got in my head. But I thought coloring book. And I sent that to you anyway. But that will be even better because I'm just going to start collecting again. And then next Christmas, we'll send it out to you again. Or maybe you never know, right? That somebody will give away a whole great big stack of them, and then maybe we'll send it out for your birthday. You never know. Yeah, that was fun. Actually, I only sent out 2 parcels for Christmas when it came to the mail. Did everybody get your cards? Did you guys get your cards for Christmas? Pipe up if you got your cards, you guys, because I think everybody that's here now, I'll go back there, but I want to hear, did you guys get your Christmas cards? Nancy, you didn't get your Christmas card? Because they were all mailed 2 weeks ago. I mailed everything 4 days after I mailed Kathy's parcel. But the thing is, I mailed 2 Christmas cards that were in the city because if I was getting Christmas cards, it's always wonderful to get them in the mail, right? And so when I try to mail them off to people, and I know that the people that I mailed off cards to did get their cards, but they're in the city, right? And they got it the very next day. I told my sister, I says, I can't believe that. I just mailed that Christmas card yesterday. Holy cow, is postal fast here in Winnipeg. Okay, so I'm going back up there. Yeah, but I got it as long as it comes before New Year's, I would guess then, right? As long as it comes before New Year's, it's still during the holidays, right? I thought I sent it on perfect timing so it would get there right on Christmas week. So, but again, it is what it is, right? It's not something I'm gonna beat myself up about, but it's always nice to feel that that you're cared for and that you guys know that I care. Well, I know you guys know that I care for you guys, but right in that recognition of getting a little card in the mail and stuff, that would have been nice if everybody had piped out, "Yeah, I got your card, Cindy. I got your card." Right? But I know, like I said, here in the city, everybody got the cards, but I don't know about the rest of the country, and I don't know what was in the States. I don't think I sent any Christmas cards out of the country because I only bought American stamps and Canadian stamps. Okay. Ice storms, aren't they scary, Nancy? We had one a few years ago. Actually, Andrew's stick, walking stick that I made him, is from one of the worst ice storms that Manitoba has ever had. We had 10% of our trees here damaged from the ice storm that year. Can't remember. I think it was 2017. I think it was that storm. 5 years ago? Wow, has it been that long since I had that wood? I know that the stick would have had to dry for at least a year after the storm, and I might have found it about 6 months or 8 months because I knew to make a point of going collecting sticks after that storm because so many branches of amazing, beautiful trees uh, broke. And actually, this stick here was from that storm. So you can see this piece here. This was actually a branch off the tree, right? This was actually, see how if the tree trunk was here, this was actually a branch. That's why I was able to make this beautiful handle on this cane, right? Because this was actually a branch, and this was from that same storm that I did. I just love this stick, and I made this stick for somebody else, but they never came to get it. And I hope she's doing really well. But she messaged me every once in a while. It's here. If she ever asks for it or wants to come by and pick it up, great. If not, I think I would like to have this stick because I don't know. I went on an explore one year, and my walking stick didn't come back to me. I must have left it out there in the bush or something, or at a campsite or something. But this one is a lovely one, and this one I made, right. It looks like a duck. I always say it looks like a duck, right? Or it looks like, I always used to say also, it looked like that character with Robert Downey Jr. In the during the Great Plague when he wore that mask and it looked like a bird to make sure that he didn't catch the plague, right? Yeah, it also looked like that. But yeah, that was a crazy storm. And yeah, so I know what ice storms are all about because we do get them on occasion here. I'm just remembering a really bad one that we had. I actually had to go out in my sister's backyard because all her trees had icicles just from a couple of hours of the storm because it's like snow rain, and it falls and it makes icicles, and it weights down because it freezes when it hits the trees, and it weights it down, and then these icicles just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the branches are actually on the ground, right? And then it gets to be too much. Then the branches snap, and then that's when the branches came off. But I was in my sister's backyard and her front yard, and I was grabbing branches and I was holding it, and I was going like this, right, to knock the ice off of them, and then just enough so that they could spring back in the air, right? So they could spring back in the air, and that took me a couple of hours to do that. Maybe a few hours. I was out in the yard saving her trees. And they thought that it was a lost cause. They thought they were going to lose all their trees. And yeah, I saved the trees. I remembered how determined and scared I was that was my only concern. I didn't care about how I was going to get home or anything like that. All I cared about was these trees, right? Yeah. Okay, so back in here. What? Andrew, you ride your bike in the winter too? You ride your bike in the winter too? That's crazy. 14 degrees. 14 degrees, that's not bad. I know it was chilly, but I remember sun tanning at 15 degrees. I remember it being 15 degrees and sun tanning and actually getting a tan, right? Wow. Must be a beautiful view, though, looking out your window, isn't it, Nancy, to sit in your chair and look out your window? Do you have a nice window because I've seen you take some nice pictures from your window, and I've seen you take some pictures that with the riots and stuff too. But you know, you have a nice window. I would think that you would be getting a good view of what the weather is like. Oh, rain. I love the rain. Oh my goodness. Are you going to bed tonight, Kathy? And have the rain pound on your roof as you go to sleep? That there's not a better feeling in the whole world than going to bed and you're all cozy in your blankets and you crack your window open a little bit so the breeze can come in and you can hear the rain and then it's just pluck 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 on the roof of the house. Oh my goodness. That's one of the beautiful things about spring. We get our rainy season usually is in June here in Manitoba is our rainy season. Oh, but to talk about the weather and rain and stuff, Kathy, I don't know, rain. It's water anyway. I was just finishing watching a video and it was about and it's where Nancy close to where Nancy lives, about 200 kilometers away from where Nancy lives. And it's called the Scab Valley, Scabscape, and it was a whole large space of oh thousands of acres, thousands and thousands of acres, and the landscape is so crazy. It looks so different, right? That that was Nancy. He's messaging me on my phone. Um, what was I talking? Oh yeah, about this. Okay, Nancy. Oh, she wants to show me looking out her window, so we'll see what the view is out her window in just a couple of minutes. But I was just, I was just thinking about Kathy Nichols, right? But this lady's name was Catherine Nichols, and she was actually a geologist, and she was scablands. That's what they were called, scablands. And it's really crazy, crazy landscape. And they were trying to figure out how the landscape formed. And it turned out the landscape was formed from dams that were made of ice. And then they melted all in one shot. And the water rushed out. And in just seconds, the entire landscape, mountains and great big cutouts and dugouts into the ground were created in an instant. It was such devastation that nothing could have survived it. But people didn't believe them that it was done by by a flood, right? But okay, let's. Oh, Nancy, I can't show anybody the picture. Oh wait, maybe I could show it this way because I could show it on my computer here if I go into Instagram and go into her notification. Might even be a little bit better for you guys. Do I have that feature that I can turn it around? Yes, I do. We are going to okay, let's go home. Oh, here goes to messages. One of these has got to be Nancy. There's Nancy. Okay, you guys, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you a bit. Ah! I'm going to show you an amazing picture of a beautiful landscape. Don't laugh, you guys. This is Nancy's view from her window. So I assume that she had beautiful views. But look up at the sky. There must be like landscapes. I think you're pulling our legs, Nancy. You get to see more than what you're showing us there in a parking lot. I think Nancy's just pulling our leg. Nancy's just pulling our leg there. Or maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. But I think if she looked up in the taller of the landscape, that maybe she would see some high rises. Maybe. We'll see what the other picture looks like. Come on. Oh, not much better. Not much better, Nancy. Okay, so we'll just get rid of that. We'll come back into here. And I am at. Well, it's good that you got the afternoon off. Do they do that to you very often, Andrew? Like ask you not to come into work, or was it just because the weather was that bad? I know this winter storm is all over the midwestern United States and the southern part of central Canada. I think even Vancouver got it. I was watching some video earlier. Vancouver got 30 centimeters. I don't know what 30 centimeter is in imperial measurement. From what I could see, it looked like 3 feet of snow. It looked about 3 feet of snow. Oh, 13 degrees, you guys. It's here in Winnipeg. It is minus 22 Celsius, which is almost equal in Fahrenheit now. Because once you get to minus 20, those minuses are about the same, right? Are about the same. Yeah, they're saying that that storm is all over the place. That storm is wreaking havoc everywhere. And isn't it amazing? Because I was kind of hoping that maybe I could go do some Christmas caroling. Like we have this corner just up from my street, and it has a little stage. Nobody ever uses it except sometimes the homeless go and sleep on it, right? And they got it's like a little stage, and it's got a little few steps down, and it's got some nice wainscoting fencing all around it and stuff. So you could put a band, just enough room for a band and a singer maybe up there. And I thought, well, how nice of it would it be if we could get together some of the ladies and gentlemen that live in this building and just go up there and sing Christmas carols and maybe just raise some money because they have the age and opportunity here in this building, right? Or even for the building committee, because this building committee does such lovely things for the people who live here. We have 2 community halls, we have a games room, we have right there's a lookout over the city in an enclosed glassed in room on the roof. They do quite a nice job to accommodate the people that live here, and it's kind of nice that that money goes to uses because they put parties on, like they're having a New Year's Eve party. They get groceries and they divvy out groceries to some of the tenants that don't have enough money for groceries. I don't partake in that, because there are people out there who truly need and don't have anything. And I've given to those people too, and going to the laundry room, and people are asking silly questions because they can't come right out and say, I have no groceries, I have nothing to eat, and I have to go till the end of the month before my pension comes in, right? And they ask silly questions like, "Oh, do you know when the pensions are due? Do you think we're going?" Right? So it's a tap dance around, and I do it. I do that myself. That's how come I can recognize it when it's done, right? And then I feel bad, so then I'll run upstairs and I'll clean my cupboards and my freezers and put little care packets and just hope that they're down there still doing their laundry. I try and do it as fast as I can, right? That it's that pride that people have that I've been that stubborn person where you don't ask for help when you need the help. You don't complain when you're unhappy or displeased or something, and then when you do go off because you're displeased about something, like if you're complaining to a clerk or something like that for customer service, then that person's always usually getting it 10 times worse because they're getting it for all those other people where you weren't brave enough just to, right, to have your boundaries in place and be able to say your piece and give your opinion and be heard, right? And be seen as a customer sometimes. Sometimes lots of times they give you that crappy service and they expect you just to accept it, right? Right? Be grateful for it. Okay, let's take a look at these comments. We're at 7:19. Oh yeah, she's way behind. But yeah, we got that storm too. It's pretty cold here. It's minus 22 Celsius. It's cold. There's no wind or anything. It's just cold, and you have to imagine that people are sleeping on the streets here in Winnipeg tonight. And I said to myself, if I looked out my window and just saw somebody sitting there, or somebody like just milling around, or in the lobby with all their backpacks and gear and stuff, that I would invite them up, or at least, give them my tray of treats or something like that, because I don't need all the treats that I've got here, right? I am so grateful for a few days off. I was actually really happy that I got to wear my pajamas tonight. And I wasn't disappointed that my sisters didn't want to come up. I'm not disappointed in that in any way. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee here. Mm. Mm. I keep loading up on coffee. I have 3 tins of coffee, those great big tins of coffee. I think, with the pricing, way pricing is going and stuff, that coffee is going to be a luxury item. It's not going to be something that people are going to buy out of necessity. They're going to buy it. Well, I guess people like me who, right, I enjoy it. Does something to my mentality, my emotional well being, to have a nice hot cup of coffee, an enjoyable cup of coffee made by my own hands, made exactly the way I like it. It feels to me like a treat, because I know there are people out there that don't have that luxury of making themselves a cup of coffee, right? Mm, yum. Okay, so where was I? we were at messaging at 7:21. Owen. Oh, 5 degrees Fahrenheit last night. That's cold, Owen. That's cold. How's your mom doing, Owen? Merry Christmas to you and your mom. Merry Christmas, Owen and Nancy, right? Oh my goodness. Andrew, Merry Christmas. Kathy, everybody, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's wonderful that you guys made it in here tonight, right? Oh, Nancy sent me another. Oh, she sent me a message. I'll go in there in just a moment and see what that was. 48 hours and you loved it. You know what? I'm going to appreciate my day off tomorrow. I'm going to do my Christmas live on Instagram. And tomorrow, I don't know. I don't have any plans. I even did my laundry tonight. I was like that Energizer bunny today, right? And I was spreading sunshine all over the place. Even at my work, we have sponsors, people from different countries. Right now, we got sponsors from um, uh, the Ukraine. We have people from the Ukraine here. We also have people here from some refugee camps in the Middle East and the Syrians. So we have a lot of cultures here that are trying to integrate and make comfortable homes for themselves, and they don't have a lot of money, and they come into my store and they're just so grateful for whatever they get, and they're not frivolous, but they get the things that they need, right? And I had a customer come up, and I wasn't at the counter, but I have a cashier. His name's Tony. Absolutely amazing. He's my superstar. I couldn't do Saturdays without him. He makes it so I don't have to pay attention out front. That I know that Tony is going to run the store just perfectly, right? But they gave this gentleman came up to the counter and gave Tony, my cashier, $20 and asked him to apply it to the shopping cart of the couple. At this time, I knew that they were from the Middle East, right? We have quite a few that are from the Ukraine, but not too many from Middle East. Maybe I have 3 or 4 families that pop in from the Middle East, right? And they were so grateful. I went up to them. I says, we had a customer give us $20. So if you want to do a little bit extra shopping, right, know that you have an extra $20 because we're not going to charge you for $20 of this because it's been already taken care of. And then when they came up to the counter, I took the 2 most expensive items off of their cart, which equaled to about $20, right? These 2 items, and they must have had about $40 worth of items left on their cart. And I said, we'll take care of the rest too. So all they had to do was pay for these two expensive items, and then all their blankets and household goods and a little bit of Christmas and stuff that they were putting together for their family and stuff. That was all taken care of and all. I just love doing that stuff, right? I my heart goes out to the homeless too. I didn't originally like it when the homeless came in and they beg for things because, like I said, they don't care so much about their own well being. They care about if they can sell it and make some money. And I understand that we all have things that we cope with life with, right? But I know they're going to get alcohol or drugs, and what if I was contributing to them for passing out at 40 below zero and they freeze to death, right? Or they use that little bit of money because they sold this item to get drugs or something. So I don't want to contribute, but I understand that everybody gets to make their own choice. But I get to make that choice too by saying, right, if you really need it, if you need a pair of pants, if you need 2 underwear, socks, hey, we're happy for that. But that flimsy little Adidas t-shirt, no. I'm not buying that for you because they just want to sell it, right? and take care of those emotional needs. And I think that sometimes we have to be awoke into the hairy scary of what we're actually doing to ourselves. And if they have to go Christmas Eve without any alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, maybe it'll put them in a mindset that they can kind of reflect on their lives a little bit about Christmas Eve. Not to the point where they're so sad and so desperate that they'll do something stupid, but just to give them thought. I didn't give them something, but somebody else would have, right? Would have. Okay, you guys, I'm pretty excited. This is my Christmas stocking for my sister Tracy this year. We are going to dig into it. Now, keep in mind, I recognize that there are people out there that don't have a lot of things, and right, like Nancy and stuff at Christmas time. Like this isn't to say, oh, look what I got, right? Because uh, everything in here, I suspect that I am going to need. There might be a few things that I want. I am grateful that I have amazing sisters that can afford to do these kindnesses. But at the same time, I do my best to reciprocate, not in a transactional way, but just because we like to put smiles on each other's faces. So I don't want to make anybody feel bad. So just keep that in mind that it's not my intent to say, oh, look what I got. If I seem excited, I am excited. I am excited, but it's not for it to be at anybody else's expense. So, and hopefully you guys will get some laughs and maybe, right, or smile, right, and or just that thing to say, oh my goodness, right, Cindy manages okay, because I do manage okay on my own. I do. I understand. I'll always have the bare minimum, and everything in the moment is always okay. And that's the truth, and I believe it, and it works for me. So I carry on living my life that way. But again, let's open up the first one. Oh, we said we were going to play the guessing game, right? We're going to play the guessing game. So I have to guess this one. This one isn't a hard one to guess. This is a toothbrush. And let's look at the comments. I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I'm going to try and keep up with the comments as I do this so that I can get your opinions and stuff on this. But I just want to quickly read all of these comments before we do this. So I'm caught up to everything. Really? The hotels are taking in the homeless. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. I bet you they're doing that here in Winnipeg, but I just haven't stumbled onto that information or that kind of posting yet. But that would be amazing if we're doing the same thing. Oh, that's amazing, Andrew. I love that. Oh, excellent. Right? Christmas time too, right? This is when we can really show our hearts, even if it's the only opportunity during the course of the year that we can show kindnesses, right? Because it's just like we're surrounded by kindnesses. It's like that little family that came in today and we were able to do that for them. But there were lots of moments like that today with me, with my regular customers who came in and the little jokes and the little stories that people told us and that we contributed to being able to work at a nice pace today because there wasn't a lot of work to do, but we just did little projects to keep the place clean and looking nice, and just the smiles and the merry Christmases and the happy New Years and the genuine and the few, we got a few tips, and I let Tony keep the tips too. He was my head cashier. He deserved them all for sure, 100%. And yeah, it was a really nice day at work. My Christmas Eve has been amazing. It's been stuffed full, fuller than any sausage in the tightest casing ever. But it was amazing, right? It was an amazing, amazing Christmas Eve, right? And tomorrow will be the totally opposite because, like Andrew, I am going to hermitize myself and I'm going to hang out by myself. Okay, you guys, what did I say? It was a toothbrush and I needed a toothbrush, so this is really good. Did I just change my toothbrush? Maybe I'm not quite ready for a toothbrush, but I will be ready for a new toothbrush in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, I have to guess this one. It's a fruit cake. Am I down at the bottom yet? No, I'm not, you guys. Melvin's here. Hi, Melvin. Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm so glad you made it to the Christmas Eve live. We won't go live tomorrow night, you guys, okay? We're live tonight, Christmas Day. Everybody's going to do their own thing on Christmas Day. I will be back on New Year's Day. New Year's Day, which is next Sunday night. I will be back next Sunday night. Let's get down here. I'm getting close to the bottom, you guys. I'm getting close to the bottom. Oh, are you? Do you like the book, Kathy? Do you like that coloring book that I sent you? That one that you mentioned was so good. I hope you liked the. My heart was there anyway. My heart was in the right place. I gotta say that at the very least, right? We don't always get things exactly correct, but I hope you got some amazing pictures, and you said there were a few in there that you liked. Okay, let's see what this is. What did I say it was? I said it was a fruit cake. Oh my goodness! Guess what Cindy got? Cindy got a fruit cake. Cindy got a fruit cake. I'm gonna make a little pile. I'll make a little pile right here, and that way I can bend down and pick everything up. Okay, you guys. Oh my goodness. This might have me stumped. No, it doesn't. It's a double box of toothpaste. Like I said, a double box of toothpaste. Yay! Oh, that's amazing. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Like I said, everything that I need too. Oh, and I got my little garbage pail here so I can keep my house nice and clean. Robert's here. Merry Christmas, Robert. Merry Christmas. We're going through the stockings right now. Oh, amazing, Nancy. Wow, you have some amazing friends, right? Not just us, but you have amazing, amazing friends, Nancy. People who take good care of you. And you just got a doll, too, for Christmas, right? Right? It's when people actually get to recognize how much they actually love you. Or not how they love you, but you get to realize how much people love you, right? How much people care for you. That was a fruit. It was a fruit cake. Oh my goodness. You fell backwards down your basement stairs. You fell down the stairs, right, Robert? You fell down the stairs? Yeah, just confirm that you fell down the stairs. It is fruitcake. See, it's a fruitcake. Yum, look at. See, there's those red cherries in there and currants. And then that funny icing that I usually peel off. Because I usually just like the fruitcake. In the old days, well, I know this crew knows that, but in the old days, we used to buy the fruitcakes and we would slice them, right? So that each piece had a little white dollop of that icing, and we'd wrap it up and then put ribbons around it, and they would be like the gratuity gifts when you went to a wedding because they were actually used as wedding cakes. I do, Andrew. I am psychic when it comes. It drives everybody crazy. I very rarely do I get stumped on stuff. And I'm gonna have to say that this is a bigger box of toothpaste. Maybe she got me another one. You guys, look at that. It's the jumbo version. Do you guys have Crest in the States for toothpaste? This is Crest toothpaste. Oh, because she knows I like the gel. So she found those ones, but she knows I like these mint gels. So that's why she got me this one. That's why. Because she knows I like the gel toothpaste. And I do. I don't like the white ones, that taste like peppermint and stuff, but I do like the clear ones, right? There's another one that they have. I can't remember the name of it, but I like that one too. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't guess it. Let's see if I would have guessed it. I would have guessed it. No problem. I would have guessed it. I just opened it before I said what it was. But I got some razors, you guys. I got some razors. I don't need razors, but I usually buy cheapy disposable ones, so it's nice to have some nice razors. For sure they are. So, yeah, my sister got me some nice razors. I shave my legs. This is the truth, you guys. I shave my legs once a year when I'm going on vacation and I think I might be going for a swim, right? I don't grow hair very well. Like, I don't even have eyebrows. You can see I don't even have eyebrows, right? I'm pretty I'm pretty bold and right and shaving my legs. I know my sister. She shaves her legs every single day. That would drive me absolutely bonkos if I had to shave my legs every single day. Well, here's one. Let's get this one out of the way. It's a big one. I know exactly what it is. Oh, I can tell you exactly, like exactly which one this is. This is the McDonald's McCoffee bonus tin of coffee. This is what this is. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I just opened a brand new can of coffee. So I can't open this and I want to. Well, let's just double check. But I'm pretty certain it's the McDonald's McCoffee. Oh, if you guys want a good coffee, oh, this is the bonus tin of the McCoffee. It's see, because the big tins are usually about this big, but this is the bonus. This is the bonus one. This is the one that you get at the co-op store. Costco? Yeah, the Costco store. You get this one's at the Costco. It's huge. Oh, I want a McDonald's. I might have to open it tomorrow. We'll have to see, right? Because I'm a connoisseur of fresh coffee. But this makes it so I have 4 tins of coffee. So bring on the recession. Cindy is sorted. Bring on the recession. I am sorted, right? Pretty good at this game, aren't I? But I might get stumped. You never know. She always throws a ringer in there because she knows I play this game. I'm going to say it's going to be expensive because this feels like it's a 6-pack. I'm going to say this is the Dove face soap is what this is, but it's the party pack. So good at this game. Ah, so good. Look at that, you guys. I am so good at this game. That would have been expensive. This would have been $10. This would have been $10 for sure. You guys, okay, I'm coming into the comments and having a sip of my coffee for a couple of minutes here. And you were passed out? Did it make you pass out? Oh, marzipan. You're right, Kathy. That's exactly what that stuff is. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the almond. It's an almond flavor. I like the almond flavor, but it's just too much, right? And a fruitcake is so heavy to start with that on the norm, yeah, it's too much. And I usually, because it peels off really easy. It's like the same stuff that's in an Oreo cookie, but really, really thick. Oh, you were knocked out. Well, I'm glad you made it in here tonight. Well, be grateful that you just have a sore shoulder, Robert. Right? And the guys are right that it could have been a lot worse. Copy. You're right, Andrew. I'm so good at this game. 100%. Aw, that was nice of you. That's nice of you, Robert. Of course. Right? Super excited that you came on tonight. Super excited. Right? We've been getting together on Christmas Eve for years now. Right? We've been doing this for years now. This is the first time I've had problems getting my live show underway. Okay, you guys. Okay. I can't. I'm guessing what kind of vitamins they are. These are vitamins. This is a bonus. You buy one, you get one free. I think it's that kind of a bonus. But it's hard to say. I don't think it's a multivitamin. I think it's a D3 or a B12. Let's get specific. It's vitamins, but I'm not quite sure if it's vitamin D3 or if it's B12. Let's see what it is. I'm so good with this one. And like I said, it's a bonus pack and a D3. I've got lots of D3, but you know what? When is this expired? Sometime in 2024. So I got lots of time to dig into these. Pretty good, eh? Am I not just like fantastic at this game? Right? You'd have to, the only way you could get me is to give me the box within a box within a box. But if you gave me a big box, I would know you were playing that game. And I think possibly I might, even as I'm going through the boxes, get closer and closer of saying what is in that final package. Somehow it would come to me. I know that it would. And this is my stocking, you guys. This is another toothbrush. She's keeping me on a year's supply of, I don't know, she's saying that I need to brush my teeth more. I don't know, but I'm sure this is another toothbrush. And it is. I got 2 toothbrushes. I got a backup plan, right? I got a backup toothbrush. Gonna have a sip of my coffee, take a look at the comments. Aww. Well, the thing is, yeah, you're probably right, Nancy, because of all the rain and the cloudy skies that you get here, that vitamin D, and they say that 80% of people are vitamin D deficient, right? I agree with you there. Even here in the winter, even though it's really cold, we get a lot of sun. So I'm always absorbing sun through my face because my face is usually clear unless I got a face mask on, right? That I do get lots of sun just sitting here at my desk and having a big window here, right? You can see this window beside me. Now imagine that window 3 times this amount that you're seeing. That's how big well, I guess we can do this, right? Pull that out, right? That's the good thing about using my phone, you guys, right? But here's Winnipeg. You can see how cold it is out there, right? It's really cold, but what a beautiful little Christmas night that it is, right? Getting a lot of the indoor stuff going on here. But it is chilly. It is quite chilly here. But we do get a lot of sun, and so D3 we don't need it as much as other parts of the country. But you guys, what do you think that is? Do you think possibly it's B12? I think it's B12, you guys. It's not multivitamins. They don't feel big enough on the inside to be anything except the B12s. B12s are usually pretty small. Ha! You guys, hey? Am I good at this game? I had no idea it was wrapped up, right? I just have to take a, I have to take a good guess. Now, the reason my sister always gets me my vitamins. This is the one thing about my health that I'm pretty grateful, and I have no idea how I stumbled onto this. But I found a formulation because of the issues that I do have that, and because I know that I am deficient in some nutrients because of the way I eat, that I know which vitamins would work very well for me. I do the multivitamins. I do the D3s. I do the B12s because the B12s keep my mind sharp, number one. If you find you get a little hairy scary sometimes, if you find you become overly emotional that for no reason at all, that you can't control your emotions, you always feel like something's going to go bad at any moment, this is what has saved my butt, is the B12. It also increases your red blood cell count too, right? Because of the folic in it. And you can take in too much folic, but I do a lot of B12s, and they have never done anything except make me feel like I can, right? And I think B12 has done wonders for me in all truth, right? But I think everybody has to make that decision themselves, right? Whether or not you've heard about good things about it, but oh, that's just the bottom of the bag. Okay. There's a present here, you guys. So I'm opening it last because I can feel the bow on it, and I think that's the last one besides this one. I can feel the bow on it, so I know it's the main present. So I'm just gonna put that to the side. Oh, I know exactly what this is, right? For my candles. These are my lighters. These are lighters. This is a lighter pack, I'm sure of it. Oh, pretty lighters too. Wow, they're very pretty. I love the colors. Look at the colors on those lighters. Just beautiful. Yeah, I like my candles, and especially because of the store that I work at, I don't have to pay a lot of money for my candles. I know candles can be very, very expensive. When I get those big, big candles, I always give them to my sister Alice because she really likes them, and they're usually about $60 for those candles that are this big. But I just like the little candles that go in the little glass jars. Not the ones that smell like vanilla, though. I don't like that vanilla smelling candles, but I like a nice scented candle, and I like them all. I like them all the time. I didn't light one tonight. I didn't even turn my fireplace on, and I always have my fireplace on Christmas Eve, right? Okay, you guys. I can tell you probably what this is because my sister asked me what I would like for Christmas, right? And I told her, I says, I'm working towards a car this spring. So, but there are a couple of things that I do need, and they're going to be very, very expensive. So, if anybody wanted to contribute to a laptop, that would be amazing. If I could get a Best Buy gift card, that would be amazing. Now I've got this little box here. It looks like a size of a box that might have a gift card for Best Buy in it. But I just thought, that will help me because I do need to get a laptop, and they're very, very expensive, and trying to get a laptop at the same time as when I'm trying to get a vehicle, right? I'm going to do it. That's the challenge. But yeah, so I'm going to say this is a gift card for Best Buy for my computer. Whoopsie. Oh, I love Whoppers. I love Whoppers. Burger King used to be a Canadian company, I think, and I think the Americans actually bought out the Burger King here in Canada, and they now own it. They also own Tim Hortons now. The state owns Tim Hortons, and Tim Hortons was actually a Canadian company. Oh, I love Tim Hortons coffee. Yeah, I when I go to work, I always love to take a cup of coffee with me to go to work. So as I'm working, I have a little something to sip on, right, and enjoy while I'm working. I have a really nice job. I really like the job that I have. I like the responsibility that they give me. They let me play that supervisor manager role without giving me a title or anything. And I think it's very kind that they give me that respect. But that respect comes because I do a good job, right? I do a good job. So I don't know where that came from. All about saying how much I like my job. But that's part of why I like my job, because I have that rope to play my shifts the way that I want to play, that I can be appreciated because I bring to the table qualities and work effort and results of hard work, right? And I love to work hard. I think working hard is important, right? But yeah. Okay, here we go. What do we got here? Oh, I got a Best Buy. I got a Best Buy coupon for $75. So I called every single, and she left me the receipt for the gift card too. Absolutely amazing. This will stay in my desk until I'm ready. I'm ready to go to Best Buy and apply that to my computer. Right? Wasn't that smart? That I'll be able, if I was smart, I would go up while it's like Boxing Day sales and see if I could get a good deal on a computer on Boxing Day sales. That would be smart of me, wouldn't it? But yeah, that money has to be played out pretty smart. And I have my savings account going, but that savings account is for the car. So anything I do outside of the car, it has to come from doing a little something extra, right? Than the plan that's already in stake. So I got the $75 here. I will make allowances to add a little bit more to that pile for my gift card. Maybe on a payday basis. I have to, right? Because I have to accomplish the car, and I have to accomplish the computer, and I have to. There was one other thing I had to accomplish. That three things that are going to cost me a little bit of money. So hopefully my teeth stay good. Hopefully my glasses. I don't break my glasses, right? That I don't have to divvy out a big chunk of money for anything, right? That financially I'm okay. That I have everything I need in the moment. I don't need anything more. I've got so much. But I say that all the time, and then something appears, like my snow pants yesterday. I was so excited when I looked on the shelf and there was a pair of snow pants, and they looked like they were my exact same size. I didn't even try my size. Those are mine. I'm right, and I paid for them. They cost me $10, but if I had to buy them new, and they were new, but I guess they didn't fit somebody and they got donated, right? So I get to be the recipient of them. And I brought them home, and this morning before I went to work, I put on my snow pants and I did the zipper up, and they were so comfortable. The only thing is they're a little bit long in the leg because I think they're men's snow pants, but that's okay. I'm going to put a hem in those snow pants, and they're going to be absolutely just fabulous for me, 100%. Okay, so let's get in here. So that was my stocking, everybody. I think it was an amazing stocking. My sisters know me well, and my skin has been very good. And if it wasn't for Dove, right, it was my skin would have been a lot worse than when I was a teenager. And I have to come to a realization. also about when it comes to acne. You know, when I grew up, my mother and my aunts and anybody I knew used to slap my hands anytime I put my hands near my face, but I was very self-conscious about my acne. I had very, very bad acne, right? And I used to touch my face all the time, but it was mostly just to cover the bad pimples, right? And but when I was at home, I used to spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, cleaning my face, popping those zits, scrubbing my skin down, using the Dove soap, right? And it's funny now because it was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I was watching a show and it was a lady who does facials, and she was doing a facial on somebody who had bad acne all their life, but their acne had turned into blackheads because they never cleaned their pores like I did. I was always told, get your hands off your face, don't pick your skin, like this all the time. But this person never touched their face, never picked their skin, and these pimples would come to the surface, but they would heal on their own and they would become blackheads, right? And when they healed on their own, they would get really, really big when they were pimpled, but then they would dry up on the inside and they turn into little nodules, right? And when this lady, like say even 5 or 10 years later after this pimple arrived, this woman came in and took that nodule out, and these nodules were so big they looked like worms. That's how big, well, exaggerating a little bit, right? But they were huge, right? But when they took them out, it left craters in this person's face, like actual craters, like the size of my baby finger, because these were how big these nodules were, right? But because when it was originally a pimple, it healed, the skin around the inflammation healed too. And it's like when you those guys wear the plugs on the earrings and then you can just change plugs and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It was the same kind of idea. So I actually did a good thing by standing in front of that mirror and paying so much attention when I suffered from acne, keeping my skin clean, scrubbing my face with Dove soap. Dove soap was the only thing that I could use on my face. And it made it so that at 61 years old, which is my age right now, I don't have those craters. And for the amount that I picked at my skin and cleaned those zits and scrubbed my face, like you would think that my face would be very, very cratered if what my parents and what everybody said, don't touch your face, don't touch your face, right? Don't do that. That right? I would have had major, major craters, and I'm so glad that I cleaned my pores the way that I did, because I cleaned them when before it was all inflamed and big or healed up, so that I would have had those craters in my skin all the time. I'm grateful it's not perfect skin, but I think I have good skin for somebody who's 61 years old, who suffered right up into her 50s with acne, right? Okay, so let's get back into these comments here. Criminy Vulgar, hello dear, Merry Christmas. Oh, right. Yeah, that's like me when I go outside and I go filming. Sometimes I go out in the wintertime and I film my adventures, but I have to keep extra battery packs and stuff. And I actually had to use hot pockets, that those things that you put in your gloves to keep your hands warm. I'd have to stick them to the back of my phone in order to keep the battery warm. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to film anything because the battery would die so fast on those too, right? But yeah, not like a car. But I know what it's like to have a cold battery. I woke up many a morning with a dead battery, right? That's why you get CAA, and I bet you CAA is going to sell lots of memberships. I enjoyed for $12 a month, and that's what it was. And I think it's pretty close to that still, right? To have that safety, like when I get my vehicle, I'm not spending a lot of money on the vehicle, right? I don't have that kind of money to get the fancy dancy just yet. So I'm getting what I possibly can. So, but in order for me to do those adventures, I need to know that I'll be okay if I go into those backwoods and on those back roads, right? And having CAA will make it so that they'll come out and they'll boost me or they'll tow me back into town for $12 a month for that peace of mind, right? I think these big storms that are going on right now really good for CAA. I don't know if you have CAA in the states. They might call it something different, but your weather is not extreme like it is here in Canada. But here in Canada, we buy little bit extra insurance so that we have access to towing trucks and stuff, and it doesn't cost us a lot of money out of the pocket if we get it stuck out nowheres, right? Yeah, I like the Whopper. I do. I like the Whopper. Criminally vulgar. Yeah, I like the Whopper. I have no problems with the Whopper. I'm gonna have something to eat myself after my live show. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to have, but I'm going to have something nice. Maybe I'll have oh, I didn't buy any bread, but I'll make something lovely for dinner. I will. I'm having a bit of a Charlie horse in one of my legs here. I guess, it's again not taking in enough fluids, right? And then again, I was the Energizer Bunny today, but I'm very pleased with everything that I've got done because it's set me up nicely to have a nice few days. I've even got some books here. I bought this one called The Forgotten Garden. I don't know which one I'm going to read, but I got this one called The Forgotten Garden. I bought this one here called A Week in Winter. A Week in Winter. I got this one here. So I'm going to take a look at that. I also got this one. I haven't taken a look at it, but it's all verses and affirmations, right? And it's called Tiny Buddha's 365 Tiny Love Challenges, right? So I got that book. So I want to take a look at this book. I'm not going to get deep into it, but because I do want to start a novel. But I also, at the same time, I got a couple of anthropology books because I do have an interest in anthropology, and I think in my movement forward, and I think with the people that I want to help, that anthropology is going to play a big role in understanding of what's going on right now with the world. Like, the world is very scared right now. Like, nobody knows what's happening. We're going into a recession. We're just coming out of coronavirus, right? We're having natural catastrophes. We're having, right, confrontational catastrophes going on in the world, and people are worried, right? People are worried. And I just wanted to better understand because I have my understandings when it comes to what we're going through. And I do believe it is tied up in evolution. And if it's truly that way, then I want to better understand people, understand how people work, understand at the different states of lessons that each one of us get. Because it's just absolutely clear to me that either some of us are handling it a little bit better than others, or it's just different stages, right? Different stages of evolution, and we're just not all there yet, right? So it's just a matter of figuring out good ways, creative ways that maybe I could get that message out there, and maybe to help alleviate a little bit of that hairy, scary that people have, right? The world is changing, and it's changing very, very fast, very fast. Things that used to take hundreds and hundreds of years to accomplish, we're accomplishing that in like one generation, right? And within that one generation, there's a few generations already being brought up into it. And in this digital age, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful that I stayed on it. That when I was talking about this today with one of the people that I work, that you know uh, nowadays people take things this digital age for granted. They use that digital age for entertainment, to use as a coping mechanism to keep us smiling, right? Rather than using it, the media, as tools and as places where we could go find information, by like what I did earlier tonight by watching a documentary on the Ice Age, and uh, how the scab flats in Washington were created by a great big glacier that was stuck in a position that it acted as um as a dam for the melting waters, for things warming up, and then finally it was too much pressure and it broke open, and it released, you know, hundreds of thousands of liters of water all at once, draining an entire lake that was being held up by a dam, and it rushed into the scablands and created this interesting landscape. So it was an interesting documentary, but that's how I use my time. And I love it. I love learning new things, right? If nothing else, like I might bump into somebody, and just that interest in knowing about the scab flats, right? That it's something that we commonly looked into, that we watched the same documentary, maybe even, but we don't have any other commonalities about us. But we have that one connection, right? That we can build on that one connection and get to know each other through the basis of that connection until we can feel comfortable in the rest of each other, right? And it's how I worked at the bar. When I worked nightclubs and bars, I used to just love talking to people. I used to love learning about them, learning about their lives, feeling like I was a part of their lives, being included in their stories, right? Some of these people I would see every day after work, and I'd say, "Oh, well, what did your wife say when you brought her home that da 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 and da 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 da, right? And how's the kid doing in university, right? And da, 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 right?" Because I would be included in those conversations, and we built on friendships. And even though those friendships don't always last, and they don't even always turn into close relationships, right? That was my livelihood. And because somebody, right, I genuinely cared about them in the moment, right? But there was a move on moment. So it wasn't a friendship that was going to be solid. Those ones happened too. Those ones happened too. But there were lots of relationships that fell away. But only because that's what both of us needed in that moment, right? Was that relationship. And that relationship was never meant to move any further than that. But some of them did stick with me, right? Stick with me right till now. And even though I find myself in this moment all by myself, that I'm not surrounding myself in my personal life with lots of people because I'm so interested in the studies. I can't build on a friendship here when I'm trying to learn this, right? When I'm trying to pay attention to this, I'm trying to use my intuition and use my spidey senses like I did with my Christmas stocking, right? To try and figure out things. It's not something that I can work on with anybody else, because I this is something I work with myself, right? And it's not something that I feel I can share or I need to share with anybody else, right? Because nobody else will get what I am doing. And if I build on that relationship, it's just going to take me away, right? And I might miss a lesson that in the end might help somebody that changes the world, right? For the better. Or stop somebody from doing something foolish, and they end up, right, having a family, and maybe one of their children becomes president, or right, or that person who reaches the stars and creates new cities on other planets like Elon Musk. And maybe even Elon Musk will do that, right? Yeah. Okay. Taco mix. That sounds good. Taco mix sounds good. Homemade chili. Oh, I love homemade chili with some garlic toast, right? And some mozzarella cheese melted on top. Oh my goodness, that sounds really good, Nancy. Do I have anything like that that I can make really quickly? I don't think so. I think I have the ingredients to make it, but right, it's getting late now, and I don't want to mess up my nice clean kitchen. I have a fruit cake. Probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice up the fruit cake and maybe peel off that big piece of almond icing stuff, and just maybe put some butter on it and make myself another cup of coffee, right? And then make myself something nice for dinner tomorrow. I bought a pot roast. I've really been enjoying the pot roast lately, only because I've noticed that the price of the roast beef has come down drastically, and I don't know if that's something I should worry about, right? It's just like the gas prices have come down so much, almost 50 cents a liter. It's come down. It's just crazy, right? Why can't it be that price, that cheap price in the summertime? They gouge us in the summer, and then they give us a break in the wintertime. It's only because everybody parks their vehicles and takes the bus in the winter, and they want people on the road, so they make the gas cheaper, right? I know, you guys. I miss it desperately. That's why I'm working so hard on it. I have the co-op cars. This spring, right? I can get out on the road. I can do the adventures. But that's going to be costly to do that. Like, it's not so costly that I can't manage it, but that money I put towards that, I could easily put towards a vehicle and get something for the road. So, yeah, 100% right. I am going to be working on that, Robert. Yeah. I would love to go to Old Quebec, Vulgar. I would just love to go to Old Quebec and sit out on one of those outdoor cafes and have a cup of coffee and maybe a cheese platter or something, and enjoy, looking out over the canal or something, right? I will be doing that. I don't know. I've been thinking the past couple of days. I know I shouldn't be already thinking about that, but what kind of trip? Like, in between doing other things, right? I'm going to have moments where I'm bored. And when I'm bored, I want to make sure that bored doesn't take me somewhere I shouldn't be, or doing something I shouldn't be doing, or wasting time, that I have something else that I can jump in, that I can love. And one of those things is planning my next vacation. I was thinking of possibly going to the West Coast. I am from Vancouver, British Columbia. I would like to see BC one more time. I am convinced that that entire West Coast is just going to fall into the ocean with an earthquake or something. When I was a little kid, we used to have little tremors and stuff all the time. My mom's ornaments would rattle on the shelf, but we never had major earthquake. But I've been thinking, this what's going on in the West Coast, and all these plates and everything, and how we're due, and what's going on in Yellowstone Park, and all these crazy weather fronts and everything, that it's saying that something big, right? I really think that God is being creative and needs to thin out the population of the world, and God's just being creative and doing it in a whole bunch of different ways so people don't notice, right? That it's all being done the same way, or even what's being done, right? I'm grateful to be here, right? But my mind goes all over the places. I cover all these bases when I'm delving into things, and right, I would like to see Vancouver one more time. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's Nancy can attest, because me and Nancy, we lived fairly close together, right? Seattle is just a couple of hours away from Vancouver, and it's beautiful. The mountains, the ocean, right? The sea breezes, the ocean breezes. It's just beautiful, right? And the fact that it can have a thunderstorm and be sunny outside at the same time, that's pretty cool too. But I am originally from Vancouver, and I wouldn't mind seeing Vancouver one more time, right? And then I would love to get into the southern United States. I still want to get to Arkansas. I've been still. I watched the Crystal Collector, and he goes off into these amazing mines. He just last week's video. He did a mine where he had to go 100 feet into the center of bedrock, like it was a mountain, just bedrock, and they went 100 feet down through bedrock, and they came into like a crystal palace, but these crystals were on rocks, and they were fiery orange, and these crystals were so gorgeous. And I says, oh, I need to get me some of that for sure, right? But I want to dig all my own crystals. Like I keep the crystals when I come across them, right? And I get a good deal on them, right? But I want natural crystals. I want crystals that I dig out of the ground myself. Chili, yeah. Do you put green peppers in your chili? Stewed tomatoes? Do you put all the goody stuff in there? I do love a good chili, 100%. But a stew too. I got that pot roast. Maybe instead of cooking up the pot roast, I'll cut it up into cubes, and I'll brown them all, and I'll make myself a nice stew with it because I do really love stew. Yeah, no wild meat for Cindy. No, not a chance. Don't like the wild meat. Oh, I didn't know that, Nancy. And you can take it? You can come out and visit? You can come out and visit Vancouver? Oh, if you had your passport, right? Yeah, we got that conversation, Nancy, last week about the passport situation. Yeah, I don't do a lot of wild meat. My dad used to like to hunt. My uncle had a trap line in Williams Lake, and my mother used to send me up there on all the vacations because she didn't like having me around. And I would go and stay with my aunt and my uncle, and they had a shed where they would take the pelts off the animals, and he used to keep the animals in a freezer in the shed, and then I'd go in there, and he'd throw me a carcass, and he'd go, there you go, Cindy, right? And then I'd have to pelt it, right? And he showed me, it was interesting because he showed me how to stretch beavers and stuff. Like it was really interesting work, but I could never do something like that because I have a hard time killing things, right? I really do. Even when a bug runs across my desk or something like that, sometimes I'll just stare at it and go, "Oh, it's your lucky day." Just because, right? I have a problem killing things, right? And I know it's not a good idea when I see them. I should go okay like that, right? Otherwise, they're just gonna go have babies, and I'm gonna have even more of them, right? Oh, interesting. So you don't need a passport to come to Canada, Criminy Vulgar? Yeah. Oh my goodness, Canadian jail, right? Get a nice comfy bed, clean sheets, right? Free rent. Yeah, it's like going on vacation, going to jail here in Canada, I tell ya. I know, I try so hard too, right? I gave up fishing too, just for that fact that I couldn't kill fish. I had to give up fishing, and I had lots of. I bought my sister a fishing rod for Christmas this year, a really nice one too, one that I would have liked if I was still fishing. But yeah, I won't be fishing anymore. It's not my thing. I gave away my fishing tackle and my fishing rods and everything. right? And I have good time when I go out camping and when I go off adventuring and stuff, right? Fishing is not a big thing. I do like being in my dinghy and floating around in the water, right? And usually I have my fishing rod just kind of trailing behind me, but I'm just as happy to lay there in the dinghy with the book or lay there and play with the phone or whatever if I could get reception. Like for sure, I don't need to be killing fish, right? And I'm pretty close to being vegetarian, you guys. Like, I looked at the meat in my freezer. There is nothing in my freezer when it got my freezer's full of meat, but none of my meat looks like animals. Right? It's all sausages and wieners and hamburger, right? It's all wrapped up in stuff that you can't tell. You can't tell what that is. So what happened, Nancy, when you were going to go to where were you going to go? You were going to go down to Florida? Were you going to St. Louis? Where were you going? Ah, it was last year. I can't remember. And then they got wiped out by hurricanes and then you couldn't go. So you would have been in trouble if you had gone and you were going to go anyway, knowing you were going to get in trouble. Right? My dad took me ice fishing, and my uncle took me ice fishing too. But they just used a hatchet, and they used to just dig holes in the ice with their hatchets, right? None of these professional augers or anything that they use now. Louisiana. Oh, sorry to hear that, Nancy. Isn't that funny? Just another obstacle. I mean, I don't mean to look at your friend as an obstacle, but the way that was put, you were supposed to be going to Louisiana, and then a wrench was thrown in the plan, right? And not just any old wrench, like a big wrench, a wrench that made it impossible so that you could go. Yeah, it just makes me wonder, right? That Nancy is so amazing and so valuable to the world that the devil is always trying to take Nancy out. Yeah. And he never does. He never succeeds. She always just pops up. And she just doesn't pop up. She pops up with a smile on her face. Yeah. Mm. Oh, right. I remember you were saying you were having hard times in finding housing and stuff too. That's too bad that your life got trapped that way that is, right? But how amazing is this digital age, Nancy, that you have been able to make friends all around the world? That through the digital age, that your handicap is not as much as a handicap as somebody who might have had what you had, the struggles that you had in your life, like even 50 years ago, the kind of life, right, that somebody would have had because they wouldn't have been able to stay connected in social media. You wouldn't even known about your dolls. You wouldn't have, right, you wouldn't have been able to connect with your network with the train cars, right? You had an amazing network of friends when it came to your train cars. Analog age. I like being a nomad. If I had my way, I would have that motor coach. If I had a ton of money, I would be on the road and doing adventure videos every single week. We would be somewheres different, guaranteed. My adventures, they're tied up. They're tied up in this journey that I'm doing right now, right? I work in mindset and mindfulness. I have these interests that I can't qualm, but at the same time, I know that they're tied up with some of my other passions. They're tied up with metal detecting. They're tied up with the camping and the road tripping, right? It's all tied up. And in just sharing my journey too, it's all tied together somehow. But it'll realize itself at some point. We'll have a better, clearer picture. There's so much now that I was so stalled out, and I think, well, why? Why can't I do this? Why am I not talking to this person? How come I've never had this person on my live? How come I've never had this person on film? And then to have a situation played out and go, oh my goodness, that's why, right? That's why. But if I had caved in to my first intuition, right, or had these people in my lives and stuff, it would have been a different story than the story that it's hard to describe. Hopefully I can describe it one day, only because I'm working through another possibility to move others along right now. There are a few people that I really, really care about, and I know that in this movement forward, that in creating the best human being, that I have to start with myself, right? But in starting with myself, there are people who are directly around me in my vicinity that have no option but to listen to Cindy's funny ideas, right? And if they don't want to hear it, then you set some boundaries or you walk away or whatever. But when I feel that pull, that compulsion that I need to play my cards the way that I'm playing, right? That I can't question what I'm doing because it doesn't make sense. But as the story plays out, I have these realizations of, oh my goodness, right? It does make sense. It does make sense. It's only because I didn't know that, or I didn't have that lesson, or they didn't have that lesson, right? Or if I didn't have this resources, but now I have this resource, right? Ah, now there's something that Andrew's saying there, right? Because my sister, she doesn't drive. She doesn't know how to drive, but she has a driver's license. I don't know how she got it. She went through the written test, she did the driver's test, but she never drove a car after that. But she uses it as a major piece of identification, right? Sharon's here. Hello, Sharon. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Are you spending it with your son? Are you spending it with your son? Ah, so you do the same thing. Well, that's one piece of ID, but how does that because you have medical conditions, Nancy. That's got to complicate funding when you need things done, when you need costs covered in your medical needs, right? Like it must cause you a hassle without the proper IDs, right? Because you can't get into different programs and stuff that are going on. It would make you ineligible, right? Very interesting. Nancy is the most interesting character, right? And like that's why I say, like, it just seems so odd that all these things go on in Nancy's life and she just tackles them one after another. And I think, that she was sent to kind of be in the vicinity of my life that I could witness that her movement the way it is, so that when I come across my own struggles, right, they seem like nothing into comparison to what Nancy's had to go through. And if Nancy goes through these things without letting it take her down, or the woisy me, right? She just pops up, just carries on, right? Tries another way, adapts and conquers, right? Then certainly I could do that little bit too, right? Because My life is a joyride compared to sometimes to what Nancy's had to go through, and just the fact that I appreciate my alone time, right? But that's my own choice. There, most people are not like me that way. Most people are very social butterflies. Me, I'm perfectly content to be on my own. But can you imagine, right, being alone the way I am, but wanting to be that social butterfly, to be in and out of people's lives and building on relationships and stuff like Nancy does, and then still be able to keep that positive, optimistic outlook that she does. I think it's about as admirable as it truly gets. Like, I know Nancy's story inside out, and if we could have ever been able to figure out a way to do a live show here on Nets, on YouTube here, that you would find Nancy's story to be so cool, so cool in its unexpectancy of uniqueness. There's the word, because it's very unique. That she's had experiences that people just don't have, right? Right? Not without at least turning them sour on life 100%. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful that Nancy is on my team. But maybe we can do something and maybe record something, Nancy, where you could come in and I could interview you and you could tell your story, because everybody here would be so blown away by the life that you had, right? Like, it's just an incredible story that truly does belong in a book, Nancy, right? You ever thought about writing your story, Nancy? What would you call your book? Yeah, it makes me curious, because it is book worthy, and not only is it book worthy, I think it might be movie worthy, like worthy of a movie being written out. Did you guys see the advertising for, what was that gentleman's name? He did those mummy movies. What was his name? Do you guys, can you shout out his name to me? But he just did a new movie and he's getting rave reviews on this movie. I didn't even recognize him when I saw him in the movie, and I don't know if he gained that weight to do the movie, or if he's using prosthesis. It's called The Whale. Movie that's out there right now is called The Whale, that he's starring in right now. Brendan Fraser, 100%, and he's getting rave reviews. He's getting nominated for he gained the weight, eh? He gained the weight for that. Yeah, Criminal Walkley. Yeah, he gained the weight on yeah. So it's funny because when he said that, he kind of it they what do you call that when they they scanned his comment when he said he got fat, because we're not supposed to have negative comments going on, and I guess they wanted to make sure that I didn't think that it was discriminatory. Yeah, I can't believe that he gained a lot of. Oh, okay. Nancy, always watching out for my channel. 100%. That's amazing, Nancy. Oh, it's Halper. Oh, Nancy, that's so smart. I didn't know you did that. I thought YouTube did that automatically. That's so cool. But yeah, that's true. We do have to be careful that people just don't take offense, right? To how we talk. Place we're genuine people here, right? But genuine people make mistakes, and sometimes we make references to things that in our day and time, right? Because most of us are in our 50s and 60s, that they were quite the norm and they were quite acceptable, right? And things are not that way anymore, that we have to be, what do you call that, politically correct, right? Unless your name is Melvin, right? Then Melvin just don't care. Melvin has something to say, he's going to say it. That's not always true too, because I know he's a gentleman too when he comes into my lives, because lots of times he's want to go off and he wants to say things, but he doesn't say anything, right? Just out of politeness and courtesy for the child. Like I said, that mindfulness, that way that we connect with each other. Oh, from the medications. You're still not politically correct. I used to say, my husband, he was such a nice man. He had such a good heart. He always meant well. He played kind of hard sometimes, and sometimes, people would take offense, but it was never his intent to ever offend anybody. And I've always defend my husband by saying, no man is any good unless he's got a little bit of a-hole in him, right? And that I think is a truth, right? Because that's somebody who's got boundaries. That's somebody who's going to say that I'm going to say this whether you feel I should say this or not say this, right? If I feel that I should say this, I'm going to say this. That's somebody who has a strong mindset on topics and won't be swayed, right? But yeah, I like that. Yeah, he's still not politically correct. So, you guys, what are you doing for Christmas Day? Is everybody just going to have a quiet day for Christmas? I know for myself, tomorrow I'm going to make something nice for dinner. Ah, but see, that's a hard one to take criminally vulgar because sometimes if that being offended is something true that they need to reflect on, but we should never offend people just to give them something to think about because sometimes people will look at that and look at it like they're at fault or there's something wrong with them or they're not worthy or good enough, right? Because you know how people are, we always think that people are talking about us or right or saying things behind our backs and stuff. So I never truly set out to offend anybody, even if I think, oh, I could give this person a dig. I don't even bother anymore. I just say to myself, Cindy, you only have control over your own access, your own actions. You have no control over the actions of anybody else, and everybody else gets to make their own choices, right? And if you make a mistake, well, then it's just a mistake, right? Because there is no success without failure. If you got it right the first time, well, you better take a look at it because there's something definitely that you can do to improve it, right? Mm. That sounds good. I haven't, it's funny, Andrew, that you say that because when I've gone to the grocery store the past couple of times and I go into that section where the coffees and stuff are, I've been looking at the hot chocolate mixes and I said, oh, I should buy a box of hot chocolate or some Nesquik or something and make myself some hot chocolate. And then the feeling dissipates and then I walk by that item and I don't buy it. But what you're saying right there, because like I said, I've got some novels here to read over the next few days. I'll start over the next few days. I'm going to read a chapter, the first chapter of each one of these novels, and whichever one seems more interesting to me, that's the novel that I'm going to read. But I am going to enjoy my day off. It's going to be a nice, quiet day. Um, besides that, we got a fire truck going off. It's sad. Let's hope it's a false alarm at Christmas time. There's nothing worse than having bad things happen at Christmas. We can't stop them from happening, right? There's no way can we say like, oh, can we do this in a couple of days, right? When these bad things happen, they don't care if it's Christmas or Easter or your wedding anniversary or your birthday, right? They don't care when these bad things happen. They happen, right? But I wish that whatever is going on with that fire truck, that it is a false alarm and that everything is going to be okay, right? Especially at Christmas time. I am grateful, right? Small, 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 teeny, teeny, not even worth mentioning the hiccups in my life in the past couple of weeks. And I am grateful for that because it keeps the stress to a minimum so that I can concentrate on what's important, right? And what's important is keeping moving forward and keeping in those looking for answers, and those answers are being realized. They most definitely are, and I'm excited about what I'm going to go and do with this information and how I'm going to help people in their movement forward 100%. Oh yeah, ketchup chips. I had a bag of ketchup chips a couple of days ago. It was really good. Ketchup chips are absolutely amazing. But the Americans have mallow bars, and oh my goodness, I really like the mallow bars. I really do like the mallow bars. What do you want, Nancy? I'll send it to you because I have your train cards because I couldn't do it at Christmas time, but I made a mental note that I have to send off your baby clothes and I have to send off those train cards. So tell me what you want, Nancy, and I will send them to you in that package. What are you craving that's Canadian that you would really like to try? Oh, really? Yeah, ketchup chips are the best. They don't have them in the States. How come they don't have them in the States? Is ketchup not popular in the States? Yeah, we love our ketchup here in Canada, but ketchup potato chips, oh my goodness, and you get the red lips. Oh, the maple candy too. Yeah, especially if it's the fresh and the real stuff that they just like they stream out of the maple trees. I've only had that a few times, and then they pour it on the snow and it turns into caramely string. It's so good. Nancy, what did you want? Oh, the ruffles. You don't have to pay me for me, but what kind of ruffles, Nancy? What kind of flavor? They make every flavor. Do you just want to pair a bag of regular rippled ruffles, or do you want a bag of rippled ruffles? And do you want? Uh, oh, we don't have chocolate. We don't have chocolate ruffles. Ruffles, 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 and they're chocolate. Yeah, here in Canada, ruffles are potato chip. Ruffles potato chips. They're ruffles, ruffles. Truffles? Truffles? Is that what you're talking about? Truffles? Oh, I love grape pop. What are you talking about, Nancy? You're gonna have to send me an email or explain to me right now, right here, what it is that you're talking about. Yeah, because I don't even know ruffles, ruffles. Huh. Hmm. Trying to think. Oh, Sharon! I asked at the beginning of the live show if anybody had gotten their Christmas card. Okay, so Sharon got her Christmas card, you guys. So you guys must be getting your Christmas card in the. Oh, you got it on Christmas Eve. Sharon, that's amazing. You got it in time for Christmas. There probably won't be any mail tomorrow on Christmas Day, but maybe you'll get it. Oh, you won't have any mail on Boxing Day either. So you guys will probably get it before New Year's. That's good news. Aww. Oh, Nancy's sending me a picture. Okay, let's go back into Instagram here and see what Nancy is sending me. She's sending me a picture. Mm. Oh, those are good, Nancy. Those are good. We got those in dark chocolate now, too. Would you like them in dark chocolate? Would you prefer them in dark chocolate? Or do you like that milk chocolate like you're showing me now? Yeah, they're really good. But you have something like that. Here it's the Bounty Bar. In the States, I don't know what they call it. That is like a box of cookies, but in all reality, it's not a box of cookies. It's they're little mini coconut chocolate bars. They're really, really good. Yeah, they're really They're really good. I like them too. I eat those all the time, and they're not expensive. So I'll make sure I put a couple of boxes of those. I'll put the dark chocolate ones and I'll put the milk chocolate ones in your parcel, Nancy, when I send those out to you. Yeah, you'll really like those. And Nancy, I'll send you a bag of ketchup potato chips, so you could try the ketchup potato chips because I think you'll like the ketchup potato chips. Everybody loves the ketchup potato chips here. Yeah, ketchup potato chips are absolutely amazing. But I was also going to say, do you guys have the dill pickle chips in the States? Do you guys have the dill pickle chips in the States? Dill pickle chips here in Canada are very popular too. Yeah, I'll send you the ketchup chips. They're so good. It was so good. Criminy Vulgar, it was very nice that you popped in tonight. We're here every Sunday night, 7:30 Central. If you want to pop in, you're more than welcome to come in and hang out with us on Sunday nights. We do this every Sunday night. Tonight we did it because, well, for years now, we have been getting together for Christmas Eve, and we are the island of misfit toys here, 100%. And I am proud to be one of those misfit toys, 100%. You guys, let's end this live. Cindy's stomach is getting hungry. It's time for some kind of treat on that treat platter that my sister made me. Maybe a mincemeat tart and something simple that's hearty to eat instead of just sugar. Maybe I'll just boil a couple of eggs and have a couple of eggs for tonight. That'll clean my system out so maybe I can eat a little bit heavier tomorrow, because tomorrow will be a munchy day because I did stop off. I did stop off at the store and pick up a few treats because I know the store was going to be closed tomorrow and I wasn't too sure what I wanted. So I bought pierogies and I bought a frozen pizza. I bought a roast beef. I bought some yogurt and some cheese and, yeah, some fruit and some vegetables. So we'll see. Tomorrow there is no. It's Christmas. Whatever I want to do. I might even stay in my pajamas. I might even do my live show on Instagram tomorrow in my pajamas and just stay in my pajamas all day long. Now there's an amazing idea. You guys, let me look at these last comments here. Nancy, Merry Christmas. Andrew, Merry Christmas, you guys. I'm so glad that I have you guys in my life. 100%. There is no doubt about that. You guys have all added something major. And you make this story that I'm living so much more interesting, right? I could be spending Christmas Eve all by myself, right? I would have had a good time, but would it have been as good a time as I'm having right now? And would I have people who cared about me as much as you guys? Look at it. My sisters just came to the lobby of my building today, and yet us here, we sat here for over 2 hours and had a chit chat and had a time together, right? And that's the one good thing about this digital age. It doesn't matter. You can make friends, whether it's across the street or across the world, right? You can make connections, and I just love this digital age. Sharon, it was nice that you popped in. Owen, thank you so much. Melvin, thank you for popping in. And Kathy, always amazing that you guys are here, right? You make life worth living. I'd live anyway, but you make it even a tastier life than it already is. You guys, Merry Christmas. We'll see you next Wednesday, which is New Year, or next Sunday, which is New Year's Day. So we'll spend New Year's Day together at 7:30 Central, our regular time. I hope everybody is full of blessings. I hope that 2023 is 100 times better than 2022. I hope we're all here together next Christmas Eve, and I hope that we can even join even more people to this crew, 100%. You guys, Merry Christmas. I'll see you soon.